Hi, welcome to the recap room. In today's video, we'll be talking about a 1995 action sci-fi and survival film entitled Waterworld. Warning, spoilers ahead. The premise of the movie is set in the 25th century, where the melting of the polar ice cap has caused all the landmass on Earth to drown. The survivors of the human species resort to living on the water. They have built boats, ships, and water cities to reside on them. However, there is a rumor among the survivors that there exists a Dryland at the end of the ocean. Although nobody has seen it, people still believe the legend, as it gives them hope. Now the scene opens with our protagonist, the mariner, urinating in a plastic bottle. He passes it through a machine that purifies it and turns it into drinkable water. Mariner drinks some water and spits the rest in a lemon plant, as plants and fruits are a rare occurrence in this world. Then he jumps into the water to search for food, but returns disappointed as he finds nothing. He sees another boat in the distance and asks its owner to trade goods with him. The man refuses to trade anything, but suddenly they see a gang of thieves rushing towards them. The man then shows the mariner the lemons he stole from him and starts to run away. But the mariner's boat is not ordinary, and he starts chasing the man at full speed. He crushes his boat with no remorse and escapes because the gang is still following them. The thieves catch the man and kill him, while the mariner drives away in his boat. Later, the mariner arrives at a floating community to trade the dirt he has. Actually, these large communities with metal gates are trade centers, and they are called atolls. People on the atoll are shocked to see so much dirt and immediately summon the mariner. They weigh the dirt and propose to pay 62 coins for 3 kilograms of dirt. The mariner says he wants double the coins, and they still agree to buy the dirt. Then he buys some fresh water for himself and meets a shopkeeper, Helen, and buys a tomato plant from her. The mariner starts to leave, but locals of Atoll stop him and request him to impregnate a girl. They tell him that once their daughter becomes a mother, he can keep everything on this atoll. The mariner says they have nothing to give him and starts to leave. This infuriates a local, and he orders his men to arrest the mariner. During the scuffle, they learn that the mariner actually has gills behind his ears and he has webbed feet. The mariner tries to fight back and escape, but gets caught by a fish net. He has some properties of a fish after all. Now the guards put him inside a cage, and a little girl, Enola, catches the mariner's eye. Enola has a mysterious tattoo on her back, and an old man, Gregor, says it's a map, but he's unable to understand it. Enola says that maybe the mariner can understand the map, so Gregor goes to talk to him. But he's unresponsive, so Gregor leaves. The following morning, the people of the atoll decide to kill the mariner by drowning him in a swamp. This way, they can use his body as a fertilizer for their plants. As the mariner was about to drown in the swamp, the atoll is attacked by a group of thieves called the Smokers. The sudden attack causes great commotion inside the atoll, and the mariner is left unchecked. The Smokers attack the metal gates with machine guns, harpoons, and Molotov cocktails, while the mariner is slowly drowning in the swamp. Helen notices him struggling, so she offers him a deal. She will free him on the condition that the mariner will take her and Enola with him on his boat. The mariner agrees, and Helen quickly frees him. The three of them somehow get to the mariner's boat, and he even manages to get his tomato plant back. The leader of the Smokers, the Deacon, orders his men to shoot the mariner's boat, so the mariner uses their own machine gun to shoot down their fellow thieves. Then, he successfully escapes the commotion with Helen and Enola on his boat. The mariner tells Helen that either she or Enola has to leave the boat, as they don't have supplies for 3 people. Helen cannot let Enola die, so she offers her body to the mariner. But the mariner is no simp and refuses her offer. On the other hand, we see that the Deacon is looking for a little girl with a tattoo on her back, but she's nowhere on the atoll. He orders his men to find the girl, and then throws a burning matchstick in their boat's gas tank. Luckily, a man catches the matchstick mid-air, preventing a huge explosion. Now, the mariner is already sick of traveling with the females and throws Enola into the water in frustration. Helen jumps into the water to save her, and the mariner lets them get onto the boat again. Then, a fighter jet of Smokers attack their boat, so the mariner goes down to deal with it. Helen thinks that the mariner ran away, so she takes the matter into her own hands and shoots the jet with the harpoon. This causes the jet to get stuck, and it starts revolving around the boat. Fortunately, the mariner comes just in time and cuts the rope to free their boat. Then, he scolds Helen for destroying his boat and cuts her hair to punish her. Enola tries to reason with him, so he cuts her hair too. After some time, the mariner sees a fellow drifter in the distance, so he decides to stop to trade some food with him. But the drifter turns out to be a lunatic, and he too has no food. That lunatic shows some secret papers to the mariner and asks to spend 30 minutes with Helen in return. The mariner agrees, and the drifter takes Helen inside the boat. However, before he could obtain any pleasure, the mariner realizes that the so-called secret papers are garbage and cancels their deal. The drifter loses his mind at this and attacks the mariner with a knife. However, the mariner is a Sigma male, and he ends up killing the drifter instead. Then, the mariner jumps into the water with his harpoon gun, and soon a big fish attacks him. The mariner comes out of the water with the dead fish, and the trio finally gets to eat something. Here, we notice that Helen and the mariner are starting to become friends. At night, Helen asks if Dryland is beautiful, and the mariner says that she'll know once they'll get there. The following day, Helen wakes up and she is shocked to see that the mariner is teaching swimming to Enola. The two enjoy themselves a lot on the water, and the scene ends there. After some time, they see another ship in the distance. The mariner thinks they are traders, but it turns out they are smokers, so he immediately changes his route. Helen tells him that they are after Enola because she has a map to Dryland on her back. She reveals that Enola is from the Dryland, as when she first found her floating in the water, she had some dirt with her. The mariner refuses to believe that Dryland exists and puts Helen in a floating device. He takes her to the ocean floor where she is shocked to see drowned buildings and houses. When they resurface, they find their boat completely surrounded by smokers. The deacon asks where Enola is, but the mariner and Helen have no idea where she is. The deacon fakes their execution, so Enola comes out of the hiding and Deacon captures her. He orders his men to kill Helen and the mariner, but the mariner takes Helen underwater with him. She is unable to breathe underwater, so the mariner gives her oxygen manually. When the two finally resurface, they see that the smokers are gone and they have destroyed the mariner's boat. With no other option, they rest on the destroyed boat. There, Helen asks the mariner why he didn't get intimate with her when he had a chance, and he replies because she was doing it out of compulsion. This melts Helen's heart, and she willingly gets along with the mariner. Then, the mariner looks at the drawings Enola made and realizes that Dryland might actually exist. Suddenly, Gregor comes there in his hot air balloon and tells them to hop in. After searching for a while, they find the smokers, and the mariner manages to sneak into their base. He goes toward their gas tank and calls for the deacon. He tells him to hand over Enola, otherwise he'll light up their gas tank. The deacon says that he'll never do something like this, so the mariner drops a bomb inside the gas tank, causing a huge explosion. He then starts looking for Enola and finds her with the deacon, who is trying to escape on a plane. He gets onto the plane at the last moment and somehow saves Enola. Then he takes her to Gregor's hot air balloon, and all of them head towards the Dryland. Here, Gregor learns to read the map on Enola's back and take them to Dryland. All of them excitedly set foot on the land for the first time and find a hut. They decide to investigate and get inside. There, they find the remains of Enola's parents and learn that they sent Enola in an attempt to bring more people into the Dryland. After some time, the mariner says his final goodbye to everyone and leaves the Dryland, as he's made for the ocean. And that was it for the recap, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell as well, so that you are notified on our next uploads.